Oppenheimer. Heute werden heute.
Christopher Nolan's blockbuster Oppenheimer dominated the 96th Oscars, winning 7 awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, and Best Supporting Actor. Ahead of its official release in China in August 2023, we had a talk with Christopher Nolan.
So personally, I am very curious that how did you manage to eliminate the barrier between the big screen and your audience, enabling such deep immersion into a character's inner world?
I think there are a number of techniques we employed. We filmed using IMAX 70mm film, which is the highest resolution imaging format ever devised. And my feeling is that on a screen this big, it allows you to immerse yourself in the world of the character. And the frame around the image disappears. And you can just be there in the world of the characters.
And also, we've seen so many familiar Hollywood faces. How did you guide them to better embody their roles using any specific method?
Not any one specific method. As you say, some of these are actors I've worked with before. Cillian Murphy I've worked with for 20 years, I know him very well. And so there's an ease of communication. And he's not an actor who requires a lot of discussion on set. We do a lot of the discussion before we start shooting. But every actor is different. Matt Damon, who I work with on Interstellar, always comes very, very prepared, but also very willing to engage in conversations about how he can reinterpret a scene. And Emily Blunt, who you point out, she's somebody I'd wanted to work with for a long time. I've been a big admirer of her work. And Kitty Oppenheimer is one of the most complicated characters in the film. Robert Downey Jr., we all know to be one of the great movie stars. I went to him and I said, I would like you to dive in and lose yourself in a character and in a sense remind the world of what an incredible actor you are, because he's one of the great actors of his generation. And he saw that, I think, as an opportunity to do something different. It's something he hadn't done in a while. Yeah, I mean, you try and use the time in pre-production. Pre-production can be months long. We were having to build the town of Los Alamos. We were having to find locations. There's a lot of work to be done, and I get very busy. But I also try to find time within that to sit with the cast and really talk through all the possibilities, what things could be, and really explore things intellectually. We don't necessarily rehearse a lot. Sometimes we do a bit of a read-through, whatever, but really it's about discussion and conversation about what they can bring to their characters.
You are known for your reluctance to rely on CGI effects.
We'd been to the real Los Alamos, and it's modern. There's a Starbucks, there's 13,000 people living there. It's not practical to shoot there, so we had to build the exterior. And they were able to do that very quickly at the same time of year and in about the same time that the real Manhattan Project people had to build their Los Alamos. So it really gave us a feeling of kinship with the history, and involving our special effects team, huge explosions out in the desert when we were shooting Trinity, using a variety of different types of explosives for different looks. And there was a lot of experimentation, a lot of failure, but a lot of success. I don't like to view music as, a source that's poured onto the movie after the fact. I felt like the solo violin would be a great starting point to represent Oppenheimer's neurotic internal state, because I think the violin, with its fretless tuning, it's so subject to the emotional state of the player. And it can be very beautiful and romantic, or it can be very cold and horrifying and scary. When we were then editing the film, we would take his demos that he had done and use that to make the score, rather than what we call temping, which is where we take existing film scores and just to help us in the edit. I don't do that. I just use the new music from the composer. And then every week we would screen the film together. He would see what we had done with what he had given us, and the next week he would grow the score some more. And so in that way, we tried to grow the score with the picture cut, with the sound effects, all at the same time.